Good morning, friends. It's Mrs. Druss. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I know I did. I hope you stayed warm. Those temperatures were really cold. I also am excited because it is a new week and it is a new month. It is going to be February, Figure Out Our Goals month. And I'm so excited because we spent January learning about SMART goals. We learned what the S, the M, the A, and the R, and the T meant. And I wanted to share with you that I really was able to become a principal because of the goals I set when I was younger, just like you. And I also became a principal because of the goals I set as I became an adult. And part of making goals is a dream. And my dream was to be a principal and work with children just like you and help you to be successful in whatever your goals are and whatever you will one day want to choose as your career. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. And a plan backed by action makes your dreams a reality. And Mrs. Druss is so excited that my dream to be a principal became a reality. And that is why I keep this quote right in the wall in my office to remind me all the time of why I became a principal and what's important. And that is goal setting. So I shared with you part of my secret recipe for making goals. And that is S is specific, M is measurable. And we talked about it also being meaningful. And my goal is so meaningful. A is achievable. R is relevant resources, because we definitely need to have those resources that we need. And T is timely. Now, I know I've been in visiting your classrooms, and now you know all should know what my goal is, because my goal was, what was my goal again? Hmm. Yes, you're right. It was to visit as many classrooms as I could, to get into more classrooms, to see more students, see what you were doing and learning and what your goals were. So I really had to make sure that my goal of visiting classroom was a SMART goal, that it was specific, measurable, achievable, I had relevant resources to do it, and that it was timely. I definitely only focused in on one thing, and that was visiting the classrooms. It was measurable, and I'm going to show you in just a minute again how I measured it. I know I shared this with some of you. It's achievable because, as you see, I have been getting into classrooms. And R, I had to have relevant resources. We talked about, in order to do visit classrooms, I had to have a school and children in it and children in the classrooms in order to be able to do that. So you were my resources. And it had to be timely. We talked about if it was summertime, I wouldn't have any students in the school. So my goal was important to do right now while students are here. It was also timely for me to start it in January because, just like a New Year's resolution, it was something that I noticed from the fall that I wanted to do and make sure that I planned my schedule accordingly so that I would not miss getting into any classrooms and that I would make sure I got into every classroom at least once a week, if not more. And definitely, I would have liked to get in as often as possible. That would make my goal rewarding, and we should pick a goal that's rewarding. So let's think about this. We need to think of some steps. So we need to set our goal, which we're going to spend February really figuring out our goal. We're going to spend February sort of making our plan, and we are going to start, some of us, getting to work. So don't worry, those 3 steps are going to be some things that we're going to all be at a different place. Some of us will still be working on setting our goal. Some of you will be making your plan and setting your goal this month. And we're all going to be getting to work on different goals that we have. But of course, this is the one goal that I'd love to talk to you about, that you're going to talk to your teachers about, and that we're going to stick to it, just like Mrs. Druss is sticking to mine. And then we're definitely going to make sure we reach our goal, and then we're going to celebrate it. And as you could see, I have my little happy face because it's going to be rewarding for all of us to reach our goals. So let's get to it. So here's how I got to it. Here I am. I visited several different classrooms. I observed math and reading and all kinds of different lessons. And you shared with me some of the things you were doing. And it was so rewarding for me so far. It makes me want to keep going. So I hope that you'll pick a goal that you really want to work at. And remember, when you pick a goal, we need to make sure we have a way to measure it. So here's one way. I took pictures when I visited, but I also did something else to help me make sure that it was measurable. I made special sheets. First, I thought I was going to just measure minutes. So I put the dates down and thought, well, I'll just say how many minutes I was in the classroom. But then I thought about that. It's not just about how long I would be there. I wanted to make sure that I got into every classroom and that I was spending the time in each of them and being able to tell which ones I was in and which ones I wasn't. So, according to this, when you look at mine, on Monday, on the first day we came back in January, I visited every single classroom. So I was happy. And then on Tuesday, I got into some classrooms. I got into all the kindergarten. I got into the second and third grade, but I didn't quite get into the fifth grade. Sometimes it was because I had a meeting. Sometimes it was because the fifth grade was just leaving by the time I got there to go to lunch or special. And I didn't have the schedule down exactly because I started staying in some classrooms maybe a little too long, and what I thought would work out didn't. And then on Wednesday, I kind of looked at Monday and Tuesday and I said, where didn't I get into that I want to get into by midweek for my second visit, or in some cases, my first? And then I kept planning according for the week till I would make sure that I hit every classroom by Friday and hopefully even twice a week. Then I said, I was making sure I got into classrooms, but this month I wanted to try also recording what I was doing. So I made a different sheet and I wrote all the teachers' names, and then I wrote what grade, and I wrote what I did. So I got into Mrs. Cogan's class, and you can see it says the teacher, the grade, and then my observed goal. I discussed goals, and I also joined on a link to see the remote literacy being happening with students in that room. And then I got into Mrs. Priest's room as well, and we discussed goals and we observed a lesson together. And she was talking about how teachers shared about their New Year's resolutions and how they were going to turn them into goals eventually. So we were remote. So I didn't necessarily get into the classrooms the traditional way by walking in, but I also got in there by link. So sometimes I'm walking into classrooms in person, and sometimes I was getting in them by a link. But either way, they still counted towards my goal because I was getting to see all the work that you guys were hard at work doing. So again, when you're thinking measurable, think about what you're measuring. So for me, it was a choice between minutes, how often I get in, or really writing down what it was that I was doing to make sure that what I was doing was going to be meaningful. So I have this sheet that I want to share with you because it talks about how you can make a SMART goal. And this might be something that helps you, or you might want to make your own, or maybe your teacher has some choices for you. But here's one that says specific, and you can fill this out. What exactly do you want to do? And then it says, I want to, and you can fill that in. And then there's the box for measurable. How will you know you have met your goal? And then it asks you, I will know because. And I'd like you to fill that in. That will help you to figure out how you will know you have met your goal. That's the answer to it being measurable. And then if you pick your goal and you know it's achievable, the question that you'll be answering is, what do you need in order to make this goal happen? So there's a blank there. It says, I need. And so I want you to look at that part and fill in what you would need in order to make it achievable. Now remember, my favorite thing is to say Viola achieves. That means we make it happen. We get it to make sure that we are going to be successful. And then it says, how can I help you achieve this goal? So you need to write down, you can help by, and what can your teacher, me, your parents, what can you do for yourself to maybe help you achieve that goal? So if you're going to need help, we need to think about, relevant resources. And here's relevant. Why is this goal important to you? This is important to me because. And so it should be relevant, and you should make sure that you have resources that support the goal so that if it's that important to you, do you have a way to do it? So for example, I said to you in the beginning, and when I talked to you in January, that, if I didn't have students or classrooms to visit, well, then I don't have the right resources. And it couldn't be relevant to me because it wouldn't be important if I didn't have students that I wanted to get into to see what you were doing and learning. So you need to think about, why is it important and what resources do you have? So if your goal, for example, was to read more books, some of you told me you need to definitely have books, and it would be important to you because you wanted to become a better reader, and that you know what kind of resources you would have. You have some online resources that are for reading. You could get more books, and you can count out how many books you're reading. You could try to improve your reading level or your lexile level. So let's think about what's relevant and what resources we need in order to make sure that if it's that important, that we have the right things we need. And then, is it timely? When will you achieve your goal? And it is something that you can learn right now. Is it something that you are working on? So we talked about, if you haven't learned anything about fractions, will your goal be right now to learn about fractions? Maybe one day, but we want the goal to be something that's timely. So like I said, in the summer, it's not very timely for Mrs. Druss to visit classrooms, but right now it's a perfect time. And when will I achieve my goal? I'm hoping to keep working on my goal all the way until we get to June, so I can see if I get into classrooms even more, and that I do things and see things that I would like to learn more about, so that I can improve myself, and I can also improve the things we're doing here at Viola. So let's think about if your goals are timely too. I know that you can do it. I know we can do it together. So let's remember to achieve our best and set the goals that are SMART goals. So they are specific, they are measurable, they're achievable, you have relevant and know why they're important, and that you have the resources to support them, and that they are timely. I know you can do it. Let's get to it. Let's just do it.